welcome back to Chair Shot Reality. WWE's all-women's, first ever all-women's pay-per-view Evolution takes place this Sunday, and I am here to give J.I.'s predictions on Sunday. Let's start with the NXT Championship match between Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler. Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler have had a great feud, albeit on the back burner a little bit thanks to some storyline development by another NXT woman in Nikki Cross. I think Shayna Baszler picks up the victory here. I think it's a big win for her. I wouldn't be surprised if she used some of her friends that we've seen at NXT live events cause some sort of a distraction. I think that puts up more storyline, more depth, more development than just a simple, I want my title back. We've been feuding since the Mae Young finals last year. And I think that they get another opportunity to face off against each other at NXT War Games in Los Angeles. Well, speaking of the Mae Young finals, this year's Io Shiraz versus Toni Storm is the final. And I've been following Toni Storm ever since last year. Io popped up on my radar this year. I've seen all of her matches. I've seen every Mae Young match, to be quite frank with you. And I think Toni Storm has to win this. They didn't give her the NXT UK Championship because they have bigger plans and bigger ideas for Toni Storm. Toni Storm is going to win. She's going to become the Mae Young champion. And she's going to follow in the same footsteps as Kairi Sane. Get on that NXT roster, and she's going to do so many great things with her character, with her gimmick, and everything else around her. 6-women tag team match, Riot Squad versus Natalya, versus Sasha Banks, and versus Bayley. I am going to say this is where the Riot Squad should pick up a definitive win and give Ruby Riott a push further up into the main event level. I think she's a great opponent potentially for Ronda Rousey down the road, and I think that she's a great opportunity for maybe like a Royal Rumble or a February pay-per-view against Rousey as we still figure out who she will ultimately face at WrestleMania, which we obviously know could be Woo in Charlotte Flair. Tag team match, legends, 3 legends really, and Alexa Bliss, who is carving her path to become a legend, as Alexa will team up with Mickie James to take on Trish Stratus and Lita. Well, you obviously know that Trish Stratus and Lita are going to win this match. I'm not going to take up too much more time on that one. I think it's going to be very interesting to see how much Lita flies, how technical Trish still is, and if Mickie James carries most of that match, because I do think Mickie James is going to carry most of this match. She's still by far, out of the 4 of them, the most technically sufficient and profound woman. One of the top I've ever seen in WWE, and I'm excited that she's back. So I do think that she puts on a great show. I do think Alexa gets her cheap shots in. But at the end of the day, it's going to be a feel-good story for Trish Stratus and Lita. The Battle Royal to determine the next #1 contender. I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to say Nikki Cross wins that. And it's not saying Nikki Cross is going to cash that opportunity in at NXT level. But Nikki Cross has a great opportunity to come up to the main roster to potentially repair with Sanity, who we haven't seen for such a long time, and maybe be that crazy, insane person to feud maybe with Becky Lynch, to feud maybe with a Ronda Rousey on the Raw brand. Is this me wishful thinking because I love my girl Nikki Cross? Absolutely. But I'm going to throw a wild card, take a shot in the dark, because WWE didn't really care enough to put too much stock into this. And I do think that Nikki Cross has an opportunity to surprise and shock people. It's a great opportunity. If not, if you're looking for more of a sure bet, I think Asuka or Naomi on the SmackDown brand. Do not take anybody on Raw, because I don't think WWE will want to put Ronda Rousey's next opponent via a Battle Royal. We're moving to the SmackDown Women's Championship match, which in my mind is the main event based on how white hot Becky Lynch has been all around. I loved the performance video. It gave us a sense of realism, her attack. It gave us a sense of how cocky she really is and how great she's done. Well, she's great, obviously, but she's facing the greatest woman performer of all time in the ring in Charlotte Flair. I think Charlotte ends up barely losing this match. You can't take the title off of Becky Lynch. It's the last woman standing. That tells us that this could be the end of their feud. And if this is the end of their feud, I think Charlotte does a little bit in November, maybe a women's Survivor Series match, hangs low just for a few months, ultimately to go back and win the Royal Rumble in Phoenix, and then challenge you-know-who, and you know who's going to continue to win is the Raw Women's Champion, Ronda Rousey. As Rousey and Nikki Bella, I am scared that this is going to be on the main event because I don't think this is going to be more than a 10-minute match. I don't think either of them can carry it as much as, say, a Charlotte can, or a Becky, or a Sasha, or even a Bayley. I get it. I get why this is the main event. I just don't love it. But it's going to be interesting to see how WWE Evolution pans out. I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see how it's built, how it's developed, and some of the legends coming back. So please tweet me at Josh Isenberg for all weekend long. Evolution live on Sunday on the WWE Network. More Chair Shot Reality. You are not going anywhere.